Before we go further, let us begin our program today with the recitation of Kitab Al-Fatiha. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. Firstly, I would like to invite our Dean, Professor Dr. Shukran Abdul Rahman, to give his speech.
Thank you, Sister Mazlina. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alamin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala ashrafil anbiya wal mursalin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wa hlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Amin. Thank you very much for chairing the session, Sister Mazlina, and thank you very much also to Dr. Nur Amali Muhammad Daud, our speaker today, for your willingness to share your knowledge and aspiration with all of us today. All deputy deans, all heads of department, all academic members, and all participants, students to this HADISUS SOBAH. This topic is very important, especially when we want to celebrate our 40th anniversary in looking at our vision, our mission. IIUM want to be one excellent center for knowledge generation and knowledge dissemination. So being a center of knowledge is not only to be transmitted, but knowledge is also to be generated so that we can advance the society, we can change the society with the knowledge that we inherit, with the knowledge that we generate. And the task to generate knowledge does not only lie on the academic members, but all students indeed. And that include undergraduate, especially the postgraduate students or postgraduates in that sense. So in order to have a good extent of research, in order to have diverse scope of investigation, we need young talent, who are going to continue the knowledge generation activities, and that lies in the hands of postgraduates. And for that reason, the Kuliah has invited Dr. Nur Amali to share with us the way moving forward for IIUM in enriching the postgraduates scope of the university, so that it can help the university be a center for excellent research and knowledge dissemination. Thank you again, Dr. Amali. And to all participants, on behalf of the Kuliah, I would like to offer our apologies for the technical glitch that we have. We'll do investigation. We want to know whether this is technical error or human error, and we will do the needful. And I promise you that this will never happen again. So over back to you, Sister Mazlina. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Without wasting time, let me briefly introduce to our speaker today. His full name is Assistant Professor Dr. Nur Amali Muhammad Daud from Deputy Dean, Academic and Internationalization Center for Postgraduate Studies. He is an assistant professor at the Department of Usuluddin and Comparative Religion, Kuliah of Islamic Revealed Knowledge and Human Sciences, IIUM. He has published numerous articles in referred journals and proceedings in the local and as well as international conferences. Dr. Nur Amali received many excellent awards in his higher studies journey. He also served the university in many administrative positions such as academic supervisor, the head department of Usuluddin and Comparative Religion in 2017, and many more. He's also supervised numerous master and PhD theses in his field and one of the examiner for many postgraduate dissertations. Before I hand over the session to Dr. Amali, let me inform he will deliver his talk for 30 minutes and we will open the session for Q&A for 50 minutes. You are welcome to share your question in the chat box. Now, I would like to welcome Dr. Nur Amali. فليتفضل مشكورا ومأجورا.
Can you see the slides here?
Yeah, we can, but you can enlarge it to slideshow. Thank you.
Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillah wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Amma ba'd. Thank you, Sister Mazlina, our chairperson for HADISUS SOBAH, this Jemaah Mubarakah. My respected Dean of AHAS KIRKHS, Professor Shukran Abdul Rahman, Deputy Deans, Head of Departments, Professors, academic staffs, and participants of HADISUS SOBAH. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. My special thanks to the organizer for inviting me to this program. It's a great pleasure to be here with you, the learned community of AHAS KIRKHS, and also together with those who have, I would say, vast experience in the university administration. And many of them I observe hail from this kuliah. I was assigned by the organizer to share about this topic, postgraduate studies direction of IIUM. So indeed, it is such a broad and challenging topic for me. Perhaps the topic is given due to my current position as the Deputy Dean, Academic and Internationalization at CPS. Anyway, with my constrained knowledge and very humble experience in managing postgraduate studies at CPS, I will, inshallah, try my best to shed lights on some aspects related to postgraduate studies and its direction in the context of IIUM. Right. So within this short period of time, my limelight will be on these following items. I would like to begin with postgraduate studies and overview, followed by CPS and introduction, CPS vision and mission, key people and functions, key product and services, online products, some facts and figures, and then the direction of postgraduate studies at IIUM, and also some initiatives that have been done and ongoing and in the pipelines that I may share with you, and also future plans. So my first point to highlight here is regarding postgraduate studies and overview. When we mention about postgraduate studies, it is basically referring to a type of qualification that is completed after an undergraduate degree. Students opt for and invest in furthering their postgraduate levels due to several reasons. To increase knowledge is one of them. Professor Shukran mentioned about the transmission of knowledge about generating knowledge. And of course, now we are currently living in an age of rapid advancement of knowledge. Knowledge drives everything. So we used to come across to the phrase such as K-economy, K-worker, K-company. And we also frequently hear the phrase pembelajaran sepanjang hayat or lifelong learning. This is to reflect the importance of gaining knowledge regardless of age limit. And with the advancement of knowledge, of course, there are theory requires revision due to its obsolete nature. And there are also knowledge requires refinement, abridgment, expansion, and also purification. There are also ideas requires integration, since we are talking about integration of knowledge. And also there are knowledge requires appraisal from Islamic perspective. This is when Islamization of knowledge is concerned. And these are triggering factors why students opt for continuing studies. And of course, they opt for continuing studies to develop the skills. So postgraduate studies is a platform to expose our students to numerous skills required during their research activities. So they will learn general skills of doing research, such as collecting data, interpreting and analyzing data, presenting as well as defending the outcome. They will also gain knowledge related to specific skills, for example, management of patients, if they are in the medical field, to manage tools and equipments, if they are in science and technology based discipline, management of the outbreaks, to handle conflict, mediation, etc. So these are the skills needed by postgraduate students, and this is another why they pursue their postgraduate studies, and also to solve global problems. This is another reason. When I read yesterday about the global problems that we are facing nowadays, the writing of Clint Bogan, the founder and the president of the Bogan Project, he listed down the top 10 most pressing global issues that we are facing nowadays, namely climate change, pollution, violence, security and well-being, lack of education, unemployment, corruption, malnourishment, substance abuse, and terrorism. So the impetus to do postgraduate studies no other than to come up with impactful solution to problem faced by people. And that's why in the thesis or dissertation, we have this problem statement to be resolved by the researcher, and also to build network that cross cultural borders, another reason for continuing studies. Because throughout research activities, there are plethora of opportunities for students to build intellectual as well as social networking for accomplishment of his or her research. And the network is not only with the professors or supervisors, but also with the fellow experts in the field, with relevant institutions, as well as with different people whom are the subject of the research. And to gain industry relevance for today and tomorrow, as well as to improve career prospects. So these are the reasons for opting for furthering postgraduate studies. And basically, when we mention about postgraduate degrees, it encompasses a range of qualifications, including master's degree, postgraduate diplomas and certificates, and PhDs. And then, as of now, the requirement for the students to pursue postgraduate studies, this is according to MQA, and it is also reflected in our PG rules and regulations. A relevant undergraduate degree from accredited institution of higher learning or any other certificate that is recognized as equivalent to a bachelor's degree or other relevant experiences recognized by the Senate of the university in order to be considered for entry for master. And for PhD, it requires bachelor's degree and a master's degree from any accredited institution of higher learning or any other certificate that is recognized as equivalent to bachelor's degree and master's degree or other relevant professional qualification and experiences. When it comes to management of postgraduate studies at IIUM, CPS will, of course, come into the limelight. So it is a center, of course, to overseeing matters related to postgraduate studies at IIUM, from admission of the student until graduation. Yeah, allow me at this session to introduce a little bit about CPS. Historically speaking, the center was established on 1st July 2000, and CPS aspires to be at the forefront of graduate academic advancement, premised on the global outlook and integration of knowledge. We strive to create an environment which stimulates and encourages both intellectual and social exchange among postgraduate students, the research staff and faculty members. And the ultimate objective of our center is to ensure that students produce research of the highest quality and making significant contributions to the Ummah. Our philosophy, CPS as the pathway to humanizing education through Maqasid Sharia in sustainable development goals. Of course, when we construct this philosophy, we incorporate as much as possible the philosophy, the recent philosophy of the university. Our mission to enhance research ecosystem, to inculcate quality research culture, to enrich PG experience, to promote and facilitate PG programs. And this mission were reflected in many initiatives that we are going to deliberate later. Our vision to become a globally recognized center of choice for graduate students. And when we mention about becoming a globally recognized center of choice for graduate students, meaning that when mentioning about UIA, people have interest, people want to come here to study. IIUM is in their mind, is a place of choice for them to pursue postgraduate studies. This is our vision. And they have this kind of attachment to IIUM. They have good impression towards IIUM. This is our vision. They're proud to become the family of IIUM. Like Korean people, when mentioning about Sky universities, they proud that they learned in these Sky universities, Korea universities, Yonsei universities, and also Seoul University. Okay. And also the people around them, when they heard that these graduates are from these Sky universities, so they give their due respects to the graduate of these universities. And we in IIUM, the vision of our CPS to make IIUM a globally recognized center of choice for graduate students. And our tagline, conduit to professionalism and sustainability, CPS. C for conduit, P for professionalism, S for sustainability. The deanery of CPS comprised of Prof. Ida, the director, Madam Haslina, and assisted by 3 deputy deans, me, myself, overseeing academic and internationalization, Prof. Shahrul Naim, overseeing matters related to research, publication, and student development, Dr. Azlina, monitoring PG programs at Kuantan campus. We have 5 units in CPS for the running of daily CPS activities and to monitor progressing of students from admission to graduation. Our key products and services, we have offering PhD and master's programs, and we also in charge of promoting PhD and master's programs. And these are under the purview of admission and records unit. Also managing students' academic development throughout their studies. This is under the purview of academic student development unit, managing Viva Voce for PhD students. This is part under Viva Voce unit, managing student credentials and graduation matters. And these are under the purview of examination and graduation unit, managing student scholarship and enhancement of research activities. So this is part under the purview of student affairs and scholarship units. Worth mentioning here the online products that we have provided to facilitate the smooth running of CPS activities and also to facilitate progression of students and academic staff at IIUM. We have this e-admission system completed in 2015 and constantly updated. We also have this virtual counter started during the pandemic COVID-19 to facilitate students. And also we have this iMonitor for tracking the progress of our students from registration of their research work, progression of their research, extension of study period. And iMonitor debuted in 2019 and as of now, received encouraging response among the supervisors and supervisees. And based on our records, academic staff from AHAS KIRKHS are among active users of iMonitor in IIUM. iViva is our recent online products. This is a continuance of iMonitor developed in 2021. And this iMonitor meant for organizing, tracking, and report program. It started from notification of supervisor for intention of submission research work and ended with Viva, okay? And it includes, it facilitates the submission of appointment of examiners by the kuliah. iViva is currently in what we call it as in a stage of trial. We start with the kuliah of engineering, and we hope to improve whatever hiccups and glitches that we may found in this platform. So currently, CPS manage over 6,000 students, and we offer extensive range of accredited undergraduate and postgraduate programs. We have so far nearly 80 masters and 20 PhD programs. And for AHAS KIRKHS only, we have 16 master's program and 10 PhD programs. Correct me, Dr. Haslina, if there is mistake in these numbers. So we have a very limited time, so I just keep some of the slides. To move on straight away to deliberation on directions of IIUM postgraduate studies and initiatives. So when we mention about directions of IIUM PG studies at IIUM, we have come up with strategic plannings, and here we want to share with you our strategic plannings and to share with you initiatives, what we have done so far, and what we plan to do for the betterment of postgraduate studies in IIUM. When we mentioned about directions of postgraduate studies at IIUM, they were constructed according to and aligned with IIUM strategic frameworks. So when you read IIUM strategic framework, you may find these 8 elements or 8 important frameworks, namely global relevance and citizenship, international culture and experiential learning, high-touch community engagement, responsible research and innovation, sustainable ecosystem, equitable prosperity, competent leaders, and last but not least, knowledge connectivity. So our postgraduate directions at IIUM can be summarized as follows. First, when global relevance and citizenship is concerned, our postgraduate studies at IIUM seeks to be in the forefront in offering and promoting flexible learning access for global community.
Doctor, we have 5 minutes more.
Okay, and this reflected in initiative that we have developed. For example, develop policy on staggered research intake, virtual counter, coordinate with OCAP in developing effective marketing and promotion structure, collaborate with IIO in promoting mobility programs inbound and outbound. For international culture and experiential learning, our PG studies aims at providing students with exposure to international culture and experiential learning. This is our Hala 7 or direction. So there are initiatives that we have done and planning to do. For example, involvement of our students in 3 minutes competition that involve national and international levels, showcase excellent viva with no correction, student exchange with excellent research. And when high-touch community engagement is concerned, we are also come up with the Hala 7, our PG studies wishes to establish more collaboration and networking engagement, and some initiative that we have planned, involvement in flood relief programs, recognizing student involvement in community engagement, design community engagement project with alumni, NGOs and Conserve. And when sustainable ecosystem is concerned, PG studies at IIUM aims at enhancing good governance and sustainable ecosystem in administrating matters related to postgraduate studies. These are some initiatives that we have done and going to do. For example, submission of soft copy thesis only for graduation. No need for students to submit hard copy thesis. Online exit for withdrawal. Upgrade the existing facilities, platform, and infrastructure to support both face-to-face and online viva examination, and to identify and review the academic-related policies, processes, and procedures to accommodate empowerment, accountability, and integration. As far as responsible research and innovation is concerned, our PG studies aims at providing excellent services and quality research ecosystem. That's why we come up with the module for structured training on research for postgraduate students to develop and improve iMonitor and iViva to track students' research progress. We also come up with the model for structured supervisory training for all supervisors, and many other initiatives to materialize this responsible research and innovation domain. And also when the elements of knowledge connectivity is concerned, our PG studies seeks to improve mechanism in monitoring research progress and supervisor-supervisee relationship among initiatives, develop of iMonitor and iViva system to connect the supervisors with supervisees at all time, as well as the administrative officers handling research activities, involvement of successful IIUM alumni in postgraduate activities, and also benchmarking with other universities for knowledge on best practice in managing postgraduate matters. And for competing leaders domain, our Hala 7 PG studies aims at producing professional and competent graduates with values and ethics. It also aims at strengthening staff development and competency. You may find some initiatives that we have come up, such as training on leadership for PG leaders, involvement of successful IIUM alumni in leadership training, structured supervisor training, in-house training for administrators, and many more. For equitable prosperity domain, our PG studies seeks to provide and assist in getting scholarship or assistantship packages, because many of our students are in need of this scholarship. Without scholarship, they are not able to come here to study and finish their research activities. I would like to also share with you our future plans. We plan for e-scroll and also e-certificates, online applications for all services, transdisciplinary research activities and policy, increased scholarship and financial assistance opportunities, and we also plan to collaborate PG activities with other countries at international level. So thank you very much. I think that's all my sharing for today. I hope my sharing will shed some lights on PG studies direction, especially in the IIUM context. I would like to reiterate that our directions, plans, and initiative will not be able to materialize without your continuous support. Please accept my apologies for any shortcomings, and thank you very much. Wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Back to you, Miss Chairperson.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you very much, Dr. Nur Amali, for his explanation and sharing about postgraduate studies direction of IIUM. Now we have reached the Q&A session. Now you can unmute yourself to ask question or just put your question in the chat box below.
Any question? If there is, maybe I may start. Sis Mazila.
Huh?
Can I start?
Okay.
Dr. Nur Amali, thank you so much for your sharing. I think I have three main takeaways from what you have mentioned just now. I think there are three thrusts of graduate studies that you mentioned just now. Tiga tonggak penting. One is research, like the two main missions of CPS that you have uttered just now are very much related to research, right? So I think this is very good. I'm very pleased to know that our agenda of having PG students is not only to credentialize them, but to train them to become new researcher who can support our research agenda, right? So you have also mentioned about intellectual development, scholarship development to me, right? Kesarjanaan, okay, pembinaan kesarjanaan itu, right? So I think our university is also anchoring heavily on scholarship development by breeding more scholars, okay, for domain of knowledge that we house in the university. And the third one is social development. Social development in the sense that research that we conduct are responding to the issues, milieus that happen on the ground. You know, in our case, just psychosocial, spiritual issues that can help us in changing, developing, and also improving our society. Now, my question, Dr. Amali, how do you position graduate students in the context of research direction, right? So we have RMC, we have CPS, because to me, we need to avail competent young researcher or young new researcher for our academics, for our researchers, right? So they need to be supported or assisted by competent young talent. That is on the researcher side. On the student side, I think if they are affiliated with any good research, there will be also a good opportunity for funding. They can be funded through GRA or whatever mechanism you have, so that in the long run, we can produce or nurture good researchers for the society. And in fact, this is an alternative way of recruiting new talent to become academics for the university. So that is my question, Dr. Amali, positioning graduate students in the context of research agenda. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Professor Shukran. Yeah, I agree with you. The three important elements that you have mentioned just now about the scholarship development, about responding, the importance of research to respond to the pressing needs of our time. And regarding the positioning of our students to be a competent future researcher, I think students needs to be nurtured in the beginning when they during their undergraduate studies. It is very important that we as a lecturer, as a murabbi, to nurture the culture of research among our students, encourage them to come up with quality research assignments. We also need to expose them about the current problems that they need to focus on. For example, when I teach Islamic Aqidah to my students, for example, I will expose them to the current challenges in the field of Islamic Aqidah for them to work on. And I propose that for those who are teaching other disciplines, expose their students to current problems that they are facing and encourage them to come up with solutions to this problem. So when they enter postgraduate levels, they have in mind what to do, not to repeat what have been done in the past, but they are able to keep themselves updated with the emerging problems and how to tackle these problems based on the scholarly approach. We also in CPS, this is one of the agenda to position our competent future leaders. We come up with the idea of fast-track research students. Kuliah may identify those potential students, those who manage to secure CGPAs of 3.5 above to enter or to apply for postgraduate studies. And it is the responsible of the departments and the kuliah to promote the opportunities for continuing studies. This is another way to promote or to position our postgraduate studies to become competent researcher. Because we believe that they have the capability to do research activities at postgraduate levels. So please promote our postgraduate studies to them. We are in the dilemma, in the crisis of population of postgraduate studies nowadays, and hopefully, it is not CPS alone do the promotion. We need also incessant support from the kuliah and the departments to do the promotion exercise. Hopefully I respond to your question, Professor Shukran.
Yes. Sister Mazlina, can I?
Yes, Prof.
Thank you very much. First of all, let me thank you very much, Dr. Nur Amali, for your excellent presentation, which really has highlighted many important issues that we have to really take into account in order to achieve our vision, mission, objectives of the university. Alhamdulillah, it is a great session. It has not only benefited me, but also benefited, I'm sure, many of our participants today. Thank you very much again for this remarkable presentation. My concern at this point is, Dr. Nur Amali, that we have allowed our students to follow the program at the postgraduate level from their respective countries because of the pandemic. Now the pandemic has ended. Are we still going to allow them to stay as they are in their respective countries until they finish their PhD, until they submit their thesis, until they can do their viva, or we will be requiring them to come back to campus? Why I raise this issue is because I have students from, say, Kenya, Sri Lanka, Turkey, and some other parts of the world. And whenever we check the thesis quality, we say that you do this, you have to improve this part, you have to add more references, you have to refer to the contemporary sources and many things. So when we put this condition in order to make the thesis of high academic standard, they come up with an answer, sir, we don't have library facilities, we don't have these books, we live in the remote villages and so on. So this is an excuse that affects eventually the quality of the thesis, and we are very much disturbed about it. So what would be our policy with regard to such students who have such problems, Dr. Nur Amali? Please highlight.
Thank you very much, Professor Tamim. Yeah, we are sharing the same concern, especially after the pandemic. We have these problems related to inability of many students to come to UIA and have a face-to-face session with their supervisors. Previously, our policy is to one of the policy, if I'm not mistaken, we ask students to have at least 1 or 2 years
Exactly.
in campus to have this the opportunity to do research at the IIUM. And it seems that, yeah, the policy is in place, but of course, to do enforcement of this, what we call it as this kind of policies, is still not in place. Okay, so what I'm encourage for all academic staff to deal with this kind of students is to have a continuous, if remote supervision is possible, then you may use that remote supervision as much as possible. This is to ensure that the students are progressing, okay, in their research activities. If the students is not able to, the supervisors has the say to ask students to come to IIA. Actually, we have not have this policy like undergraduate studies to ask them to come here in UIA. Perhaps we need to have a look on the policy and to revise that, so we are able to give the opportunity for the student to not to be with UIA for certain periods of time.
Resident status.
Yeah.
I think your point is well taken, Dr. Ramali. The problem is the so-called excuse given by students that they are unable to update our thesis because there is no proper references available, because they live in remote areas, they live in villages, they don't live in cities where they can have access to some libraries, at least of some universities. This is the main problem. If we allow them to be there under the remote control supervision, if they have enough sources to consult for the quality thesis, then it's fine for us also. But there are cases in which we have such problems. How to deal? Can we have some sort of understanding that we tell them again, even though we cannot force them to come to Kuala Lumpur and stay for 1 semester or 2 semesters and use the library facilities so that their thesis is in accordance with our university's expectations, something like that?
Yeah, at CPS level, we have certain guidelines of remote supervision and for master and PhD by research programs. The requirement, of course, to fulfill the required academic qualification, work in a research institute or an institute of higher learning or a place with research facilities approved by the supervisor and center of studies, meaning that the supervisor need to ensure that the students that they are supervising able to they are what we call it, they are able to do the research remotely if they have references or scientific labs or whatever. If they are not able to do that, we have the right to ask them to come and to come here. These are the requirements, meaning that this is responsibility of the supervisor.
Okay, thank you, Doctor. Now the issue is very clear. So we may ask students who have such problems of accessing enough materials can come for 1 semester and stay here and then enrich their quality of the thesis, and then they can go back and submit later, inshallah.
I have one more, Miss Mazrina. Dr. Amali, you just now mentioned about fast track, right? I think this is a good way of attracting our own students to come and enroll in our program. Now, let's say we have a master student who had done well at his undergraduate, first class at undergraduate, and in his first year of master's program, he also attained very high CGPA, 3.8, 3.9. Can we upgrade him into PhD program straight away? I know there is a clause of provision for that, but how do we go about having that?
That one, for fast track, can I check first the requirement? Yeah, as far as my knowledge is concerned, for fast track application, SOP for fast track, we once we receive application from student, for whatever degrees that they want to study, master or PhD, or perhaps they state their fast track application for fast track. So at CPS level, we will send the application to the kuliah for evaluation, and they may be the kuliah should set up the evaluation process, including the interviews of the candidates for the viability of whether they are qualified or not for the fast track. And then when the kuliah satisfied with the students, with the candidate, based on the proposal written, they may recommend them for PhD straight away. Okay, this is the, and then the decision by the kuliah should be sent to CPS, and we will bring this for the approval by the AC members. So this is the SOPs or the guidelines, the SOPs that we have developed for this fast track. We may benefit from the kuliah of science because they have done this fast track activities for quite long time. They have established this these policies.
It
For
can
master,
also,
yeah,
it can also involve conversion, right?
yes, yeah. But we have no policy of if the students face problems and not able to or fail in his PhD, we have no such thing as MPhil like Western universities, meaning that these are the risks that the students need to be aware when they are in PhD fast track.
All right. Thank you.
Now we have come to the end of the program. On behalf of organizer, I would like to thank Dr. Noor Amali for inspiring us young researchers and students on our roles and responsibilities. We hope that everyone will embrace and uphold your word of wisdom in the journey to be successful academic and researchers in the future. I would like to take this opportunity to apologize for my shortcoming in hosting this session. I wish the organizer, the participant, all the best, and may Allah bless our effort in this journey of knowledge. Before we end, let's turn on our camera so we can take picture together. Okay. In count of 1, 2, 3. Okay. Thank you very much, and let's end this program with tasbih kafarah wa suratul nas.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Amali. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Nur Amali.
Thank you,
Allah bless
Doctor.
you. Allah bless you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Dr. Amali, I wanted to ask question, but never mind. I'll spare my question and have a personal discussion with you.
You didn't unmute, right?
Yeah, I wanted to ask just now, but I couldn't unmute myself. It's okay. Never mind. I can talk to them.
Dr. Hasina, we will discuss with Dr. Amali on the conversion and fast track, maybe.
Yeah, inshallah. Assalamualaikum.